Olin, good morning. Did it look any better on review, or was it worse when you went back?
Yeah, mostly through all of the first half, 24-0 with a minute 50 left in the first half. Basically a blowout, right, guys? No plays made by the Chicago Bears. What kept them in games against other teams was obviously their red zone defense, and are looking back at it today, called turnovers, right, in the red zone. If it was Jonathan Owens posting first and Aaron Jones turnover versus the Green Bay Packers, or Tyreek Stevenson causing a fumble against the Vikings, or just, like what the Commanders, they held them to field goals. The Lions, they held them to field goals yesterday. The red zone defense didn't hold up, and it ends up being a blowout in the first half. And the offense, again, really struggles in the first half. And it's just everybody, right? Whether it be the quarterback going to Travis Homer on the first third down instead of hitting Keenan Allen, who's running the angle route on a linebacker, or the O-line getting beat on a blitz, or DJ Moore dropping a pass, or, it's just when you're watching a guy going to the wrong guy on a run. Again, the thing that the players there, and I guess now everyone wants to hold the players accountable. So now it's time. Now it's time to do that, right? So it's just kind of, when you watch it again, the things they've been talking about, not us guys, the things they've been saying, accountability, details, worrying about the right things, not worrying about the wrong things, keeping everything in house, keeping family business, doing the things that they have to do. It's on the film again. And the 49ers here, as we talked about going into the pregame show, Mully, you hate to say this, but when you watch this team on film over the years, you thought, man, Coach Eberflus' play calling in the red zone might be the best thing that team had going. And although his game management left a lot to be desired,
right,
those are the things when you talk about, okay, is there a football guy up there at Hallis Hall watching the film, really looking at what is going on with our team? What's really going on here, right? Bro, what's really going on? Is it the plan? Is it we're built? Is it the play calling? If we get rid of a guy, what does that team become? Very interesting to watch this football team yesterday, because while a lot of people are disappointed, if you've been watching them all year on film, they were exactly what they have been. They just actually gave up touchdowns yesterday.
So, Olin, when you look at the evolution of this season, I think at one point in time there was always the case where you could count on the defense to do something, or you could count on them for a red zone turnover, or you could count on the defense to be respectable. Yesterday, you couldn't even count on that. What is the simplest explanation for why the defense has regressed to the point that it has?
Yeah, yesterday, man, I said a couple of times going into the game, Eric Washington gets his chance to call plays. And guess what? You get to call plays against maybe the best play caller in the world, right? Kyle Shanahan. And he did a good job yesterday guessing what the Bears were going to do. And I heard you guys talking about, I think it was that second down play when Brock Purdy realizes that Kevin Byard is blitzing off the edge. Very man coverage. You got my running back one-on-one with Jack Sanborn. The Bears are in regular defense. I mean, gosh, man, they jumped into that play. It was like they practiced. They knew when we see this look, we're going to run a wheel route on the Sam linebacker. And sure enough, they put their young running back on the Sam linebacker and put the ball on the 1 yard line. So Kyle Shanahan yesterday, obviously everyone knows his talents, what he's good at. The elite play callers are hard to find in the NFL. He is one of them. He had a good game plan, attacked the Bears in their zones, found their weaknesses. It wasn't the first touchdown, right? Go put the young cornerback who has some discipline problems, put him in, he's peeking in the backfield, right? Tyreek Stevenson's peeking in the backfield, run a receiver right behind into his zone area. He's going to be late coming back there. Guys, when you watch this on film, when you watch what the 49ers did in the first half, it was a masterclass by their coaching staff. And that is where the biggest mismatch was yesterday. I don't know. I heard a lot all week about this intern coach bump. You guys are going to make me go study it because I really didn't believe in it. I got to find out if that's really true. Sometimes we all start saying things and it's not true at all. I got to find out where every intern coach, I guess their team gets a bump. I didn't know where that was going to come from. I had no belief in any of that. And what wins games in the NFL, guys? Good players and good coaching, right? And when you looked at the San Francisco 49ers, guys, they got Brandon Staley. He's not even their defensive coordinator.
Right.
He's on staff, right? And when you watch their third down blitz package, Brandon Staley's all over that blitz package, man, confusing the young quarterback, showing all out blitz, dropping guys out, giving no room to throw the ball. Yesterday, man, they got dominated everywhere on that football field. And eventually, someone up there at Halas Hall is going to have to take a good look at what they are and what they're doing and why it's all not working.
Yeah, and I'm not sure we trust that to happen, Olin. I think that's part of the problem is that we don't know really who's in charge and who's making the call on this, you're left with, we were kind of just going through. There's a whole bunch of guys that are on this team that you no longer hear from and no longer have any idea why they're actually on this team, and I don't know that there's going to be a great future for any of them, frankly. And I don't know how massive the offseason change will be, but you got to get through 4 more games here, and you got to somehow get people's attention and focus. And the interim coach bump didn't help at all. So I don't know what helps after that.
Yeah, it's a tough matchup, right? It's a tough place to go to San Francisco, fly all the way down there, play against that coaching staff, that football team. We talked in the pregame show, Mully, about, man, you keep telling me all these guys are out, but then I look and I see like Kittle's still in, right? Deebo Samuel's still there. Fred Warner's still there. Talanoa Hufunga's coming back. They still, even their left guard goes down. They're under third string left guard and left tackles out. And, Trent Williams are the best in the world. It's just Christian McCaffrey's out, but they still matched up pretty well. Where does the Chicago Bears team go from here? Well, they're 4-9, right? They have problems in their building. They got to keep developing their quarterback. If you just talked about everyone kept saying all these guys are out for the San Francisco 49ers. I kept thinking, man, if you take the names out of it and you told me a team was going down to play somebody, but by the way, their defense coordinator and offensive coordinator are not there anymore, right? They've elevated guys to do jobs. So now they have less guys helping put together the game plan. They have less guys help putting together the scheme, but they have a guy doing extra jobs. Now the passing coordinator now is now the OC and head coach, right? And then Beatty's telling us during the week at the podium, and it sounds great, right? It's fun. Everyone laughs about it, but Keenan Allen is basically my wide receiver coach. And that's just a lot to do for a player, man. It's just a hard thing to do for guys to take on more responsibilities over there at Halas Hall. And I think that all showed up yesterday. I think that all showed up on the field yesterday. And the good thing about a game like that, guys, is maybe a little reality creeps into that building, into those rooms, into what's actually going on. Again, we talked about in the first part of this interview, now everyone's saying these players finally have to take responsibility, right? Well, they should have been taking it a long time ago, right? They should have been taking responsibility a long time ago. A lot of what was going on up there was on the players, was on the coach staff. It's on everybody, the way they're performing, the way you get blown out yesterday by a team that you would say is, pretty much decimated with injuries, but still have a lot of talent, still have a lot of good coaching. The Chicago Bears have a lot of problems. That's on their film. What was saving them from getting blown out, guys? This is what I keep talking about, there's a difference between what everybody is saying, and there's a difference between what the film is showing and what is reality. And what is reality is what was saving them from getting blown out week after week after week was the way the defense was bowing their neck in the red zone, the way they're holding guys out of the end zone and or causing turnovers. Or guys, they would have been blown out in a lot of other games this year. So the fact that you go down there and you're surprised this happens when a team puts the ball in the end zone, I'm not surprised this happens. Finally, the dam broke. Finally, they got to take a good look. They're going to go up there. They're going to go into a closet. They're going to dust off Matt Nagy's mirror, and they're all going to look in it.
This segment with Olin Kreutz is sponsored by Plumbers 911. Plumbing emergency. Call the plumbing professionals available 24/7 at 1-833-PLUM-911. So, Olin, big picture then, what was the biggest misconception about this team internally? What was the assumption that they made about the roster or a position group or the coaching or whatever it was? Where were they wrong the worst or the loudest?
Yeah, they were wrong in just thinking that this getting rid of these one or two guys, right? Like, remember, David, how long ago this started, right? This started when we heard about the first 15, right? The offense was struggling because we didn't have our first 15, and that leaked out into the media. And then it was just Shane Waldron's legs just kept getting cut. And I'm not saying that these guys belonged in their jobs. I'm not in the building. That I don't know. I'm just saying when I watched the film, there were plays there to be made and they weren't being made. And even though the first 15 may be true, I never heard about the other side of it, right? I never heard about the other side of, like, in that situation there. I got to make the plays. Let's just talk about last week when the Detroit Lions game, when Coach Eberflus should have took that timeout, and that's true. You can't argue any of that. Coach Eberflus he is the guy on the sideline at that moment when his team is discombobulated. Call timeout, gather everybody up, talk about the situation, explain to the young quarterback, the offense, everyone out there where we are, what we have to do. But 2-3 days later, guys, the young quarterback is on the podium and he doesn't just say, man, I didn't know what was going on in that situation, right? There was a word salad that even confused me, right? I changed the play. I made the play. I didn't change the play. I just run the play the coach calls, but then I changed the route. Well, I don't know if you know, but that's the definition of changing the play. Right. I don't know if you know that, but if you change the route, you change the play. And you didn't understand that if you took a quick pass and called timeout, you'd be in field goal range. Right. It's just when you hear this stuff coming out, David, it just seems to me like no one really understands the fact that in the football, you have to do your job. You do your job and let other guys do their job. And then this thing starts moving in the right direction. But we never heard that from a big faction of Halashaw and their leaders, the guys with the C's on their chests. We never heard that from the Commanders game. We never heard that about the Hail Mary. We heard that I thought we should have covered the sideline. I thought we should have took a timeout. I think you should have stopped the Hail Mary, right? I think if you stop the Hail Mary, you win the game. Like that's what I think. So it's just like they have a misconception of what's going on up there, why they're losing football games. They got to take a good look at it, see what's going on, because last week when I heard everyone talk about, man, we feel good now, right? I heard Ryan Poles on the radio pregame, talking about all the energy he saw there at Halashaw all of a sudden, right? Like, well, why didn't you figure out where the energy was 5 or 6 weeks ago if there wasn't that much energy, right? Like, I don't know. There's all this talk about all these things that really don't matter in football to me, right? They really don't matter. Like, I really don't care how good you feel when you come in the morning. I really don't care how you feel about your energy and all this kind of stuff. I care about you doing your job. I care about you doing your job and getting things done, and that goes for everybody in that building. And right now, after a game like that, hopefully everyone would say, you know what, man, the details and that's all of our responsibility. All of us have to get this moving in the right direction.
This segment with Olin Kreutz is sponsored by Bosch Power Tools. What hard workers deserve. Olin, there, as you know, an explosive play is described as one of 20 yards or more, and the Niners, in their 3-game losing streak, managed 7 total explosive plays. Yesterday against the Bears, they had 39, 33, 32, 32, 30, 27, 23, 23, 20. That's 9 explosive plays in that game. The Bears, their longest play was 17 yards. I mean, this was as bad an arse kicking as we have seen this year. It wasn't even they weren't even in the same class. This was a master class from the Niners against the Bears, who couldn't do anything. How do you not have a single explosive play in a game? And is it because they're not trying to get down the field? They're not attempting to, or is it because they get sacked every time they make an attempt?
Yeah, it's all of that, right? And it's the young quarterback, third. I think it was 3rd and 2 late there in the first half. Last play of the first half for the offense, and Keenan Allen's one-on-one, and you can see he's one-on-one in the slot there. He runs a slot fade. Give him a chance there, right? Throw the ball to his back shoulder, and does the young quarterback have enough time? It all works together, but it's there to be, the play is there to be made, and we don't make it. There wasn't enough of moving the pocket yesterday, right? And I thought that the 49ers defense was a little ahead of the Chicago Bears in that first half, where we were trying to take shots on play action before we even established the run. We weren't giving guys. I think Vilma did a nice job on the play I'm talking about. I think he actually pointed it out during the game, where, like, right here, you got to give you guys a chance. And we're back again, guys, to the fact that, okay, we have all this, and we built this like 7-on-7 team, right? We gave Keenan Allen $20 million. We gave DJ Moore $20+ million. We gave Cole Kmet $10 million. We gave the running back $10 million. We drafted the wide receiver, number 9 in the draft. we drafted Caleb #1 in the draft. Oh man, it's because of the O-line. It doesn't work, right? You drafted all these multipliers, all these guys. You got to make a play. Keep the sticks moving, right? There's drop passes on 2nd and 3rd down. Catch the ball, keep the sticks moving, and then for the play caller, when you realize an O-lineman is overmatched or he's not doing well in the game, get him some help over there. Get him a chip, because you want to know why? You got to put extra help on guys when you have guys who are struggling. If you have $100 million in your wide receiver room, right? If you have $100 million there, those guys got to win on their routes. And then the young quarterbacks got to get them the ball with his great arm that we do see him when he's ripping it in there. The ball, he does a nice job, but it's just not enough, right? The pass to Rome Odunze. Really nice pass, right? Keenan Allen draws all that attention down there in the goal line after what he's doing in the past couple of weeks. Rome Odunze ends up #1, one-on-one, and we hit him for a touchdown finally. And then it's 24-7, but the game's pretty much out of reach, right? And it's just these things all work together, guys. It all is the reason why you get sacked 6 or 7 times in the game. If you would have told me, man, Olin, this O-line, right? This O-line where like their center is out, their guy they want to be right guard is out. It's just this O-line is overmatched. Really? I'm shocked, right? I'm shocked they're overmatched. It's just, guys, you can't put $300 million into your skill positions and scream about the offensive line all year. That's why I say to everybody, well, you can have Rome Odunze in the draft. You can have him, and you love having him. But I don't want to hear you complain about the offensive line. Here we are late in the season on the road against the San Francisco 49ers.
So, Olin, big picture, and it's a question that only anyone cares about. How fixable is this, and how long will it take? Is this one-off season away from playoff contention? Is this a hard reset where everyone starts over and you look into a 3 to 5 year window? What is your assessment about how deep the hole is?
Well, an interesting question, man. One that we've been answering for a while now around here, right? One that we answered since the 2nd year of Coach Nagy's tenure. What is the problem up there? Why can't we get to playoff games and win them? What do the Chicago Bears have to do? And we go, the building, the coaching, the players, David, I tell you what, man, I've been analyzing it for a lot of years now. I honestly don't know. I don't know what they do to finally get this thing back on the track. I've had a lot of ideas through the years. I've said a lot of things throughout the years about what you think, what I see on film. I don't see it getting fixed, to be honest with you, especially with the schedule. They're in Minnesota on a Monday night. It's going to be loud. It's going to be chaotic. They struggle on the road protecting a young quarterback. Their defense is struggling. Kevin O'Connell versus Eric Washington, another great play caller. With this schedule, I mean, maybe when I look at it, maybe the Seahawks when they come here, we can maybe pull something off. But right now, what fixes it? What always fixes football? Details, same thing they've been saying, and getting going and making the plays and doing the things they got to do, and just kind of getting tired of repeating everything year in and year out of what is wrong with these Chicago Bears, and waiting for them to figure it out up there. Only they really know what play was called. Only they really know what they were asked to do on that play. What was the rule? We heard a lot about, we would as players, last week we heard a lot about, well, the players have done enough to win games, but that wasn't the case yesterday, right? And then for me, I'm just kind of shocked when I hear things. Talked a little bit about Tevin Jenkins talking about Coach, it was time for Coach Eberflus to move on. That shocks me, right, when I hear things like that. When you're the guy who gets run over against the Lions and gets the team backed up. So I don't know. I don't know where they go from here, and I don't know how they fix this, but they're definitely in a hole again here. Maybe the 6th or 7th year in a row.